Hey, how's it going? Jumping into the case with Scott and five-star franchising, five-star painting. If I don't create value, I should be fired. I think that's a pretty bold statement, but I honestly think it rings true with me. Um, I think that's a unique way of thinking that not many people have, and I think that's why a franchise model works well. If you want people to have ownership, because most people don't act that way. Most people, they just see a job as transactional, but really being motivated, it usually takes ownership. And I think that's why being a franchise gives those people ownership, which therefore gives more motivation. um, so I think like a franchise model, um, I guess coming from the franchisor, you're growing something bigger than if you would have just done it majority owned yourself. So I think that's where some of the motivation can come as well. I think there's a lot of challenges with spreading the ownership. There's a lot more things you have to coordinate, but in terms of opportunity wise, you're spreading out the incentives, which means that there's more people in your organization with incentive. Which if you're someone who has an "I don't create value, fire me" perspective on life, you might as well give as much ownership to others so that they, um, are incentivized. I think moving to a franchise, it's definitely a solution to scaling, in my opinion. I think there's a few limitations. You obviously have to provide a good, clean service across um, all of your different franchisees. Um, but I mean, economically speaking, like you've got franchise fees rolling in every every year, and you're kind of just able to work on the business. Like you're working, basically, it sets you up to work on the business, not in the business, because your franchisees are the ones working in the business. So I think it's just a super fantastic model. Really love the franchisor model. Uh, I think AI is going to disrupt a lot of these service-based industries. I think balancing AI-driven efficiency with customer trust is going to be hard, because I know a ton of people. I think it's really cool when there's like an AI agent that I talk to on the phone, but a ton of people hate it. And I think it just might be a long and slow road ahead. And you'll have to, just really gauge where things still need personal contact. Um, I think that's what's going to be required of not losing the human touch, is just not automating everything. You need to be very deliberate about what you're doing. I think AI should go into the back end of a lot of things, but I think there should be like some client facing roles that still exist, and I don't think AI is necessarily the best option there. Um, Being tech forward in industries, so like going forward, adopting AI in industries that are reluctant to adopt AI, which just puts you at the forefront. I think there's plenty of industries out there like this. And I think in order to build credibility and adopt that technology successfully, you have to be deliberate and careful about what you're doing. It can't be an overnight thing. You have to roll it out with bit by bit and make sure everyone in the value chain is used to and accustomed to exactly that technology. Um, I just think those steps would build more credibility. Um, but really, overall, this case just was super impressive to me. And I think there's a lot to learn for me and for my fellow classmates about Scott's ownership mentality. He obviously took control of his own situation, his own destiny, if you will, took ownership even if he didn't have a majority ownership. He cared about his work. Going back to it, if I don't create value, I should be fired. I think that's just a fantastic way of looking at things, and I think that's a fulfilling way to look at life. If I don't create value, I shouldn't be compensated, or I should be fired. And you could look at that in anything that you do. You just always commit to what you're doing, both in business and personal. If it's with family, commit. If it's with business, commit, and make sure that what you're doing is enabling you to create value in every aspect of your life. So overall, just a fantastic case. Really enjoyed reading this one. Thanks.